Welcome boys and girls, Christine here with a quick little trick in Malakai Makaisson's campaign in Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires to have a faster start in certain ways. Though there are going to be some trade-offs, but there are also going to be quite a few advantages. So the first thing you want to do when you begin your campaign, start getting an arms forge, you want to get those iron drakes and you want to get those thunderers. You could go for the engineer building, but you're going to be able to recruit engineers later on, and you're going to get gyrocopters for free anyway. Personally, I just preferred getting iron drakes and thunderers, but that's your personal decision on that subject. Outside of that, what you want to do is go for a bit of diplomacy. Just get a couple of diplomatic deals over here with Katrin, with Boris Ursus. Get these kind of agreements. You will be able to get a trade agreement with Boris Ursus once he actually has a settlement. And research-wise, you want to get Way of the Guilds, heavy cornstones into High King Authority because of that construction time for provincial capital settlement buildings, which will be useful. Now, what you want to do with Malakai, you go to this battle. This is on Legendary, very hard, highest stats, all that kind of stuff. The only mod I have enabled here is Toggle Fog of War, just to showcase certain things on the campaign map, but that's about it. Nothing that's affecting the game in any way. Anyway, so just auto-resolve this or fight manually. That's up to you. I would recommend not summoning the Spirit of Grungni in this specific battle. Now, what you want to do with Malakai over here, he can recruit a lord from his army, any lord. I'd recommend going for Ancestral Blood Grungni for any lord that does have it, because of that research rate and construction cost for all buildings in a region. Just leave that there, and then Force March Malakai right here. Also, get another lord in your initial settlement and recruit some miners if you want to. Miners aren't the best units, but they will be a bit useful. Get Root Marcher, get Inspiring Presence, get training on Gotrek, get casualty replenishment on Felix. And that's your first turn. Now, Malakai's Horde army is a bit special in quite a few ways, because when you think of Horde armies, you look at Beastmen, right? Beastmen have a limitation on how many armies they can have. You look at Ogre camps, they can't move. You look at Blackhearts, they can move, but only via the sea, though they can also do something similar to this. But Malakai is going to be able to pull this off far better than most other campaigns, most other legendary lords. So what you do here with the lord you recruited from Malakai's army is you move him towards the settlement. He won't be able to win that battle instantly, but you can send the lord that you recruited in Crocodile Rock and just auto-resolve this on Legendary. Either go for the money, you can do so, or just occupy the settlement for the sake of it. Here, you don't want to get the growth. Now, the downside of doing this, of what I've just showed you, is you won't have this settlement, so you'll be missing out on 25 growth, or 20 growth for one turn. But in the long term, it's actually going to pay for itself, because when you start considering different aspects in this situation, it is really, really going to pay off in a pretty major way. So then, when Malakai, you come here, you deal with the Nurgle, you've taken over your initial province in 2 turns, and that's going to give you 15 growth. So you're able to capture this province 1 turn faster. You can also get rid of this building over here and just recruit Dwarf Warriors over here, in this situation, even Dwarf Miners. The advantage in this state of affairs is that you will be able to go for Fraught a bit earlier than you normally would in a campaign. So normally with Fraught, normally the way the campaign flows is you take the settlement turn 1, turn 2 you probably end it somewhere around here. Turn 3, you take Lair of the Troll King, and you can only attack Fraught like on turn 5, right? But here, because we're closer, we will be able to attack Fraught on turn 4. Either going directly for Skaven Blight, if that's your desire, on that subject, or just eliminating his army in a settlement. It depends on how you want to approach the situation. It's a bit safer to go for his army right here because Fraught may not even take the provincial capital over here on this specific turn. I mean, he usually will, but he may also not. So anyway, get a bunch of dwarf warriors, get Stubborn Defiance on Gotrek, get a higher level horde army right here, and start moving your lords closer and closer to the settlement. Here you can get the barracks to just recruit proper dwarf warriors, or go for the growth building in order to grow your settlements faster. It depends on what your early game priorities are. Usually I personally prioritize growth over other things, and that's kind of the benefit. Like, it might cost you a bit in a very short term, but you will actually grow your settlements faster if you follow through with these kind of tactics. You can also recruit an additional army over here with Malakai, have those kind of extra lords in order to go deal with Fraught. Though this may end up being a battle, but it depends on what Fraught does right here. You can certainly defeat him. You can either attack Help It directly. I may have said Skaven Blight. Did I mention Skaven Blight? Whatever. So you can go over here after this specific settlement. In this case, he doesn't have an army right here. So we can just, auto-resolve this situation. And we can even use our lords over here to lay in wait for Fraud. Get a higher level settlement, get Thunderers or Iron Drakes. Funnily enough, Iron Drakes are actually really good in auto-resolve. So, we just take over the settlement. We don't necessarily care about it as it is, but one important thing with Malakai is that you can get a Slayer through the Spirit of Groaning. That's the reason I save up for it. So, just get some Slayer Pirates, get more Miners. Fraught is not really going to be able to easily defeat you. And while the adventures only become available on turn 5, all you gotta do is survive a good enough situation until turn 5, and then you'll be fine. Like, usually I don't expect Fraught to attack me as a player at this point because he only has clan rats. So if you have a bunch of miners, between the inherent dwarf auto-resolve, the heroes, etc., you do have a good amount of power available right here. Money might be a bit tricky, right? But you can manage it just fine. So just get some cannons over here or gyros. That's your personal decision right here. And you can even attack this army, right? Just easily. Oh, I lost some miners. Who cares? Basically, it's like, oh, miners. Right? Though I probably should have attached the Slayer, and now you can easily deal with Fraught. You're getting these settlements to a higher level, faster and faster and faster. We can even go and beat up Castalton if we so decide, really. So yeah, just go for Help It. And sell some of the stuff to Castalton. It's a bit, that event that I gained, it's a bit of a shame that it was it was aimed at Castalton, because usually you would want Azazel, or you might even get Fraught if you don't declare war on him. So yeah, after this point, it's very, very easy to just go deal with Skaven Blight. Money won't really be an issue because all of the two barracks that I have, I can sell those to Castalton and get a lot of money in return for them. I can also sell stuff to Katrin, and I can get alliances with both Katrin and Castalton. Though, keep in mind something here. Be mindful of, like, the Skaven, tactics, if you will. Let's see if 4 Iron Drakes, yeah. So Iron Drake's really good in auto-resolve. I'm not quite sure why it is. Like, again, this is just baseline legendary. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not entirely certain why it is. It is just because of the armor, though they do have few models, so that would generally be a bad thing to be dealing with in the course of a campaign. So yeah, anyway, just sell these two settlements, get the money from Katrin as well. So yeah, just get military alliance over there. Bam, you're rich. You've set yourself up. And the reason I chose to go for the canon event is there is something useful right there that gives you a bunch of growth in this location, or a construction benefit. So this event can give you growth or can give you construction benefits, so you can get Crocodrock to an even higher level than what I've shown over here. So, you know, if I just get a Lord over here in Crocodrock, another one, why not, right? Though probably Grungne would have been better in that situation. But yeah, once you start getting Crocodrock to tier 3, you'll be in a far stronger situation. So it's all about attacking fraud faster, securing a province faster. Speed is important in Warhammer 3. The faster you can do things in a campaign, like the faster you can secure your initial location, the better off you'll be from a campaign standpoint. That's pretty much all I had to say. Like, everything that you just saw here, every single thing that you saw here was just like a completely unmodded campaign. Like, I didn't even use Toggle Flag of War. After this, what do you want to do, right? That's the reason I installed the mod. So what do you want to do after this? Well, you want to go after Azazel because you want to do the Norscan grudge. Though you probably would want to deal with Trog first. From my perspective, I just want to show this event right here that you do have. So if we look offer shelter, we get expand the hold or population influx. I would take the growth personally, but that's me, right? That's my personal perspective on this. I would start moving a Lord right here, and I would also, like, yeah, just take these guys out, capture, help it. You can leave some things over here if you want to in order to easily deal with a rebellion in this situation. And because you have such a significant growth benefit available to you, that means help it itself will also grow faster. So while buildings will still be expensive, you will be able to very, very quickly start earning yourself a lot of money in this campaign. Like, buying Trog is generally going to give you a ton of money, give you a ton of resources, and you deal with Trog, you deal with Azazel, you capture Norsca, you deal with that problem. You do the Norsca grudge, and that will open up Legendary Lord Confederation potentially in your campaign reasonably quickly, right? You might want to take a settlement and then let the AI take it over so you can get a lot of grudges. Like, for instance, you could just use a Lord here with a couple of units, take the Winter Pyre, or 2 Lords, you know, send Malakai with an army, leave a Lord behind the Winter Pyre, abandon it, let Trog take it so you can get a lot of grudges through that process. But that's, you know, more long term. Still, this is a really good start situation. It would have been better with a grudge against Azazel, for instance, because that would have given me a lot of grudges if I was dealing with Azazel, but you can still gain those anyway. Quasine here, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications. Stay tuned for more.